transparent sharing of national resources, the revenues of this country. So I saw tarmac the first time when I was going to Sarajevo Boys. There's a lot of missing schools because you have to go fetch water and you don't have a donkey. So why am I going home to skip meals? And there's a center here. So you guys would speak English and I'll not even understand what they are saying. I've never seen chips in my life. He left me 50 shillings and he never came. But you know it's so I never came back. First, not because I think even if I had fare, like if you look at it now, it's child labor, but children were a resource to the parents in that setup. So
this is Beyond Facts.
Hello guys, I'm Marilyn Nguyo and this is Beyond Facts, a show that focuses on society issues, current affairs, politics and leadership. And today we are honored to have an intelligent person, a go-getter, an educated person, a son from Kitui West. Commissioner, karibu.
Thank you very much. But those adjectives, the attributes, are they...
You're a go-getter.
Are they for flattering?
Mr. Muasya,
that's how it is.
Yes.
Then I appreciate that. That's how community sees me.
Yeah.
Welcome. It's your show, but I want to welcome you here.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, I'm ready to go through this for the benefit of the people of Kitui, the people of Kitui West, the people of Kenya, because what I do cuts across counties and it's as a national outlook. So I hope the engagement, of course, now will focus on all those.
Yeah, thank you so much. And the other side, I have my co-host. Welcome and introduce yourself.
Okay, dear viewers, good evening. My name is Philip Muasya. As you have heard, we have Commissioner Benedict Muasya. He's a financial expert. He's also a politician, and we are going to have a discussion with him. Karibuni sana.
Thank you very much. Yeah, karibu.
Yep. So, Mheshimiwa Muasya, let's begin with where you hail from, your background, your profession, your journey, in short.
Thank you very much. So, I come from here, and this is Kadeka village. Kadeka village is in Kawi location, but Kadeka will soon be gazetted as a location. So I'll be in Kadeka sublocation, rather we are in Kadeka sublocation, which is soon to be a location. We got, we were lucky. Last year it was made a location. We're just waiting for the operationalization of the new administrative unit. Kawi location in Kitui West, just a few kilometers from Kabati town. And basically this is ancestral home. My neighbors are my relatives. I was born here. I was born in Kadeka. I schooled in Kadeka for my primary school. And I was lucky to have made it to Sarajevo Boys Center after my class 8. That was in the 90s. Very lucky because everything just worked out as a miracle. Us making it from, you know, the difficult circumstances and background that we grew up in, making it to Sarajevo on full sponsorship. And from Sarajevo, I went to Catholic University. I was supposed to go to KU, pursue BCom, but then again, luck followed me, and I think it's a hand of God. Someone sponsored me to Catholic University. I did BCom, a major in finance, and shortly after I joined the Kenya Revenue Authority Training Institute for a diploma in tax administration and customs procedure. That time I think, and I still up to this date, although the institution changed name from Kenya Revenue Training Institute to Kenya School of Revenue. Now it's called KESRA. Back in the days it was called KRATI, for a 2-year training program. And the first year is classwork. Second year is on the desk training. And that was the time when KRA was introducing reforms and modernization. And the then Commissioner General, the late Mike Waweru, KRA used to recruit graduates as graduate trainees. Then in 2007, I got my first posting to Nakuru. So professionally, I'm a tax auditor. Trained for 2 years, worked for 8 years, and in 2015, I resigned when I was 35. And the reason I resigned...
Why were you resigning at that early age?
Because I had an opportunity to interact a lot with owners of capital, serious businessmen, and I learned a lot from them. Because, you know, as a tax auditor, you only interact with owners of businesses. Over and above, of course, the relevant line staff, like the auditors, the accountants, the heads of finance, and you share stories with them. And one Kikuyu man told me one day that you cannot work for 8 hours and your wife works for 8 hours and you get rich. I don't know his definition of rich. Because basically one of you needs to be out there working for the family as the other one works. And of course, because you've read the Poor Daddy, Rich Daddy, for me it was just a follow-up. I was just following the natural progression curve. I'd started businesses early, I think when I was 32, and at some point I asked myself whether the school fees check that I paid was from my salary from KRA or from my businesses. Because that making that decision at that age is very, very difficult. But I guess it's also the nature, my nature, that I want challenges. I set goals that may not be normal to other people.
Mwesh, before the challenges, as I look at your journey as a person who is defined by coming from an humble beginning, and now going to KRA, any connection links? Who took you there?
First it was God, but let me just define things as they were back then. You see, I grew up at a time when we used to work the entire day to look for water. Yeah, and I think everybody relates to this because most of the changes that we've seen around this area have come in the last 20 years as a result of education. Because we are surrounded by institutions that are the best in Kitui. Our primary schools, and these can be fact-checked, are the best in the county, always. St. Mark's, Kadeka Primary. So, you know, so first I get that kind of, you're going to school without meals. You have no packed lunch. You're the fourth born in a family of 9. Everybody else ahead of you is dropped from school because you're a son of peasants. So it was luck, it was God, and it's just an element of initiative because, you know, and if you remember, when you're doing selection of schools, your teacher would tell you that this and this and this school have conditional, you know, selection. And I remember being told about Staria Boys Center and a yellow form that you had to fill for needy but bright boys. And so I'd taken initiative because you have to do it earlier in the year before you sit for your KCP. But I grew up in that kind of environment where you're going to till other people's land for a small pay. Like if you look at it now, it's child labor, but children are a resource to the parents in that setup. So there's a lot of missing school because you have to go fetch water and you don't have a donkey. So the neighbor who has a donkey can only give you on a Wednesday. So you don't go to school on a Wednesday because that's the time you have a donkey. The next day you're being caned, not because you miss school, but because your circumstances are such that you had to miss school. So that is basically, and you know, without emphasizing, everybody, majority, including most of you here, went through that. So, but as luck would have it, under those difficult circumstances, I got lucky. You asking how I ended up in KRA?
Yeah.
Just the same way I ended up in Starehe because I KRA advertised and I applied after my graduation, and I was lucky. I was selected because I had performed well. I had met expectations of whatever qualifications that they were looking for. I was lucky to have been a good student, both in primary school and high school. And it is actually what I did in high school that impressed the person who chose to take me as a student under their sponsorship to a private university back then, so that it, you know, because someone may be wondering, you saying you're coming from a humble background,
Yeah.
you're going to a private university when private universities were for the rich.
Yeah.
No, it is because there is this people called Mastermind Tobacco Kenya Limited, a privately owned company by a Meru family. And so when they saw my grade, they're impressed, and they made the suggestion that they had a family policy to always support a kid. And that's how I ended up in Catholic University. Going to KRA, it's the same, I guess it's just God's plan. God, you see, because if I look at, there's nothing special that I was doing
Yeah.
that to translate to that kind of luck. And that has affected a lot about how I viewed life later in my years. And it may probably come at a later stage when should you seek to find out why I chose the path that I've chosen this far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Commissioner, let me take you back a little, just a little bit back. Now you are coming from this humble background. You are struggling with life. You are missing school because of circumstances. But then again, you are selected to join Starehe Boys Center, which is a prestigious institution. So when you join Starehe Boys Center, it must feel like you are now comparatively like you are in heaven. How was the feeling you joining Starehe?
First, I think going to Starehe was, for me, it was the first time I even saw tarmac. And you know, tarmac used to start just around where the junction, Kanyonyo Junction, because I'd never gone to Kitui. For the 14 years I was in primary school, I'd never been to Kitui. There had never been a reason to go to Kitui. And this road out here was not tarmac. So I saw tarmac the first time when I was going to Starehe Boys. And I went late. First, I did not even get my admission letter. Because admission letters to Starehe are not sent in the name of the student. They're sent to the headmaster. And so I never received mine. But something happened. Every time a school expresses interest in Starehe, when a kid applies from a primary school to join Starehe, the subsequent years, Starehe will send, they call them the yellow forms. that specific form that you have to fill if you aspire to join Starehe. And in that form, there's an insertion, a reflect, just another thing that they put there that shows the schools from which they have taken the current years from 1. They don't show the name, but they will show like a school called Kadeka in Kitui County, and they'll put a number 1, like 1 student or 2 students. And so our neighboring school here, Mangelu, had received such a form. The headmaster is known to our family. You would imagine I was the best student or pupil in primary school. Out of the 700 marks, I got 565 under those difficult circumstances. So it had, it also revolutionized the way education has turned out to be here. So they see this, and everybody has gone to school. The second, when you don't go, there is the first choice, the second choice. I was supposed to go to Luanga.
Yeah.
So the letter for Luanga had arrived, and there had not been any discussion of whether or not I'm going, because I was not going anyway. There was no school fees. So then they said, Master comes to my mom and says, we have received this, and we are very convinced this must be so and so. So he's given some little money to go to Starehe. The next day he checks, it's me, he comes back, I'm taken the next day. I was among the last students. And I never saw my dad back again. He left me 50 shillings and he never came. But it's called Starehe Boys Center and School. So it's a center first. So if you have nowhere to go during the holidays, you stay. So I never came back. First, not because I think even if I had fare, why am I going home to skip meals? And there's a center here. So during holidays, then if you're not, because of your circumstances, you have to stay, then you start learning computers. I did my first computer literacy courses as a result of my failure to travel for holiday. So those were the circumstances. When you get to Starehe, to answer your question, everybody is bright. Everybody, you're the first from where you come from, is the best from there. So you have to go through almost a week of being prepared that among the 200 of you, there will be a number 1. So lesson number 1 that I learned, and which applies in life to me up to today, is in life, someone is always superlative to you. And I've never forgotten that. In life, someone is always superlative. There's someone who is better than you in life. And it has helped me because of such things that kids did not hang themselves when they were last. I mean, you are the best in Rusing Island, but you're last here. We are in Starehe. The best student in Kenya is with you. The best in which province is with you. Yeah, so we were prepared that we were still going to have number 1 and number last. They're now catching up with the different cultures. The best thing that happened to me, and that is why I don't look at life from an ethnic point of view. Because this person here is Luo, this is Kikuyu. I've never even seen a Luo in my life. This is a Turkana. I've never seen chips in my life. But here we are, 4 years later. I'm a quick learner. I learned very fast. And the school has a system to make sure that diversity is accommodated, and an integration, a very deliberate integration, because the school has the kids of the rich also, the kids of the medium class, and the poorest, and they will put you in the same cubicle. Like in my cubicle, the double decker, the guy in my upper decker, the father is an ambassador. They live in Karen. I live on the lower decker from Kitui, so I have no pocket money, I have no blue band, I have nothing. This other decker, a cubicle of 4, is from South Sea, and the other guy, so it's from 1, from 2, from 3, from 4. The other guy, the brother is a pilot at the Navy, but it's also sponsored because the brother was a pilot at not the Navy but the Air Force, because he had been in Starehe before. So they are relatively, it's like now our last born. By the time our last born was growing up, our circumstances had changed. And those guys would speak English and I'll not even understand what they are saying, like literally. But yeah, I learned.
You learned. Yeah, quite impressive. So, Commissioner Muasya, now you have worked, then you decided to resign and to go into business. So how was it? How was it? You know, your academic background, having studied finance at Catholic University. How did that help shape you into a businessman that you later become?
So luckily, because of my sponsorship by a corporate, every time we had the breaks, I'll still go back to the accounting department of this organization. So I was mixing up that knowledge with, with my studies. And out of circumstances, I remember when I was in third year, I had a butchery in town. Yeah, so I would Skype classes because I'm trying to run that. Because you see, we are 9. We are 9. I'm the 4th born. And in families like where I come from, kids come in quick succession. So the person who follows me, the one who follows them, I mean, there were a lot of them who never made it beyond class 8. So I think, bro, it's just circumstances and the way I am as a person. So I went into business after I resigned. I did not go into business after I resigned. I started business way while I was still working. And I started traveling a lot, to China. Initially, people used to travel to Dubai.
Yeah.
Because you remember, business used to come from Dubai. And then people started shifting to Turkey and then to China. So I love those kind of travels, and just to open up my mind that I could get this phone from China, ship it, and it finds me here. Just make it a normal. And so that's how I got into business. My first business, now real business, was importation of motor vehicle tires. So I was a distributor in the country, the sole distributor of a particular brand of tires. And I did that for some time before that market was flooded by the Somalis. Remember when Firestone was closing? Because the Somalis had now started mass imports of motor vehicle tipper tires. And that's, of course, why government has to take some of the policies that they take to protect local industry. And luckily, during at around that time, we also now got an opportunity to become a distributor in Kitui for EABL, which is what we've done for the last 10 years. Yes.
Mheshimiwa, let's talk about the area of CRA. For the Kenyans who doesn't understand fully, what is your core mandate?
Okay. So before I talk about CRA, probably people may need to know that I was appointed as a commissioner in the Commission of Revenue Allocation. Okay?
Yeah.
In 2022, towards the end, just 2 months after the president was sworn in, the Commission on Revenue Allocation is a constitutional commission among the 10 or 11 constitutional commissions, whose core mandate is equitable, the fair, equitable, and transparent sharing of national resources, the revenues of this country. And we share revenue amongst the national government and the subnational governments, or what you call counties, and between the counties themselves. So we share one basket of resources, the national revenue of Kenya, between the national government and the counties. And then using a formula that is done once every five years, we share now the county revenue amongst the counties based on that formula. That is why every other time you hear counties are refusing, CRA is saying that we give counties 405 billion. The Council of Governors is saying we want 470. The National Treasury, who is a stakeholder also, representing the national government, will say, no, this is how we want to share. But the core mandate of recommending the formula for sharing of revenue is vested on the Commission on Revenue Allocation. The other mandate that people sometimes don't talk about is the formulation of a policy on equalization fund, marginalization, the issue of sorting out marginalized areas through the equalization fund. So, which is a mandate that is actually coming to an end. The equalization fund was supposed to run for 20 years, I think since the new constitution. And it's now about 6 years it has a sunset clause. In 6 years, it is assumed that every country that historically, for whatever reason, had been left behind, using that fund will have been brought to, almost to parity, to the same level with the rest of the country. So we also do the equalization fund, come up with the policy on equalization, on marginalization rather, and also share that amongst counties. We help counties on issues around public finance management, and especially in the area of own source revenue. By showing them, their potential, their performance in the area of own source revenue, vis-a-vis their potential, identifying revenue streams for counties, helping them map out. And such things as established in both the Constitution and the Public Finance Management Act of 2012 that mandates CRA to play in that space of public finance management. Yep.
So now, Commissioner, talking like son of Kitui County. People say Kitui County is two counties in one because of it being expansive. We have this part of Kitui, then we have the Mwingi region. Now being a commissioner at the CRA, Commission on Revenue Allocation, do you think the formula that is being used to share resources, to share now the revenue to the counties, do you think it is ideal for a county like Kitui, which is very fast?
Yeah, because the formula has parameters, population, the land size, the poverty levels, and so issues of the size of the county are taken care of in the formula. What CRA does is that it proposes a formula, it proposes weights, to these parameters, and that recommendation is forwarded to Senate. It is actually the Senate that approves the formula, but most of the technical work is done by CRA, and that, as I've said, is every other 5 years. So we just did the 4th generation formula on revenue sharing, which is being used for the first time, I think, in this financial year. And so Kitui is not disadvantaged. We make sure that nobody is left behind. It's a thoroughly participative process. Everybody is involved. We have stakeholders, and public participation in coming up with the formula is key. So Kitui is not disadvantaged. Kitui could only get disadvantaged if the selection of the parameters was skewed to benefit some counties. But again, that's why we have stakeholder involvement. We have to consult with the Senate, we consult with the COG, we consult with professional bodies, and we consult with CAF, is the County Assembly Forum.